Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you guys are all having a great day. We're really excited to have you join us this afternoon. If some people could just chat in the little chat box to make sure that you can all hear me okay before we get started, that would be great. I'll wait for just a couple yeses and then we will kick it off here. Awesome. Thank you for someone sending that in. We will get started here. Well, welcome again. We're really excited to go through the topic of blended learning with all of you. Thanks so much for taking some time out of your day here to be with us. We're, again, excited to have you here, and we're equally as excited to show you some of the new product enhancements that we have coming down the pipeline here that will really help you create that blended learning environment for your students. So throughout this webinar, as far as questions go, if you have any questions that come to mind, we definitely welcome them. If you can just chat them in that chat box that you chatted loud and clear. If you do have any questions at all, please share them that way. Because we do have a lot to cover here today in our webinar, we will follow up with all of you with the answers to those questions here after the webinar is finished. So today, as far as presenters go and who you'll be hearing from the Hoonuit team, you'll hear first and foremost from myself, Megan Grossart. I am the Product Engagement Manager here at Hoonuit. And then you'll also hear from Emily Lichinsky a little bit later, and she is the head of our product team. So today we'll be taking you through why a blended learning environment is so important and how Hoonuit can really take your professional learning to the next level. So with that, I'm going to kick it off here. And do feel free to log on to Twitter and join in the conversation as well throughout the webinar to chat anything that you are really excited about. So as a higher ed institution, there really is this strong need for your students to have this flexible, this multifaceted learning environment. It's really becoming a trend these days that blended learning is very necessary at institutions in order to really stay competitive to those around you. So creating that learning environment, crafting your courses for your students that really cater to their exact needs, the way that they learn best is really important, again, to stay in that competitive spot and for the success of your students in college. So now that there's this shift happening in the overall profile of higher education students, how students are really learning best in their overall learning preferences, I did want to share with you some specific facts to really put this into perspective. So let's take a look at the average student profile nowadays. So it looks to be a little bit different than it once had, with almost half of the student population actually over the age of 22 years old. There's about 30% of the student population now that have children, and about 60% of those students are working either part or full-time while they're going to school. So with this, the learning styles definitely differ very much so. The type of student population, this type specifically, needs that flexibility. They need the ability to really work at their own pace, work on their own time, to make sure that they're getting what they need, but on their own time there. So as far as enrollment goes for online enrollment, about 30% of college students are enrolled in some sort of form of distance or online education. And about 64% of students say a reason that they enroll in an online course is specifically for that flexibility. So with that said, about nearly 3 million students are currently enrolled in a fully online degree program, but 6 million students are actually taking at least one online course as a part of their degree program. So these few facts really go to show that that online learning, that blended learning for higher education students is extremely important. So that's why we see that campuses are very much reinventing their learning environments with engaging online courses. This is actually an expectation. Students expect that they have a variety of ways to learn and to choose from, including online options on top of that in-person classroom environment. The convenience factor and the flexibility of online course options are really key in helping all parts of the student population and appealing to them, making it relevant, staying relevant, so that everyone is engaged in their classroom environment and successful throughout their college career. So even take Purdue University, for example. They recently acquired Kaplan University, which is a fully online institution. So Purdue is clearly taking those steps as a prestigious university to be more relevant in their course offerings for their students. And they're really making sure that they're engaging their students at every level. So we're here today to really help you take your program to that next level. So with that context, I'm going to now pass it off to Emily, and she's going to take a deeper dive into what blended learning is all about and show you how some of our new product enhancements at Hoonuit really support that blended learning environment.
Thanks, Megan. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Well, I'm excited to be here today to share a bit about blended learning. We have a lot of customers and different institutions across the country that we work with who have shared with us some of the best practices around blended learning and why they are engaging in blended learning and some of the tips and tricks. And I think we all know that blended learning is a course or workshop that combines online learning with face-to-face facilitation. For example, many classes use a learning management system to host content, facilitate online discussion, turn in assignments, etc. And they must also meet face-to-face, maybe once a week or twice a month. And during those in-person sessions, the class is really able to do small and large group discussions, participate in group activities, do hands-on learning, and the facilitator is able to do real-time assessment of learning with their students. There are a number of benefits to incorporating a mix of online learning and face-to-face facilitation. First off, blended learning allows a lot of the learning to be done prior to the face-to-face portion and at an individual's own pace. So for example, learners can do the readings or post comments or view videos first online and then use the in-person portion of the training for discussion or active learning. Or the content can be shared and discussed first in person, and then learners can go online for discussion and to work on how to apply their knowledge as well. Second, blended learning allows for a wider variety of tools and mediums that can better engage learners. So not only will learners have some face-to-face time and actual human connection, but they'll also be able to use an online discussion board, view videos and presentations, collaborate online with remote learners, and much more. So really there's something for everyone, depending on their, that can support their unique learning styles. Learners new to online learning can sometimes feel more confident when a portion of the course is face-to-face, so kind of that blended model versus a fully online course. It really eases them into that new learning environment. Online learning requires time management skills, a lot of internal motivation to learn independently, as well as the tech skills necessary to be able to navigate that interface and use the communication tools. And not everyone can jump right into this. A blended learning course can help new students who are new to online learning with understanding and accountability, and can kind of step them into that online environment in a more effective way. Also, group discussions in a blended course can be really beneficial to different types of communicators versus fully in-class discussions. So online discussions can be really helpful for those uncomfortable speaking in a group face-to-face. They can also be helpful for people who need time to process and carefully formulate their responses. Whereas the face-to-face discussions can be really helpful to people who struggle with written communication, and can also help to build community by reading tone and body language and being in the room with each other. And can also be really helpful in building knowledge or sparking ideas through that real-time conversation, debate, and brainstorming. So the blended environment really helps to support all of those, or both of those, discussion styles, and can be very effective to leverage both of those styles in your courses. And finally, customization can really happen in a timely manner, as instructors can assess learning in real time and make changes to the lesson or pace accordingly, which can also allows for improved communication. So before implementing a blended learning model, I would love to share with you some of the best practices that we've found from subject matter experts, the universities that we work with, as well as our own internal instructional designers. So first, using a dependable, solid LMS or online course delivery system is key. And along with that, learners need to have time to familiarize themselves with that system in order for them to get the most out of the course. It's also really important to have consistent quality content, including videos, presentations, text, and audio. Content that's accurate, insightful, and professional makes a really big difference in your learners' reaction to the material. Third, trying to use one or maybe two tools for communication so that your learners know how you'll contact them and how they can contact you. If you use email, the discussion board, a chat feature, hashtags on Twitter, a Facebook group, or Skype, that's a lot of things that people need to be able to keep track of, and it can be overwhelming to a learner. And so trying to narrow that down into one or two consistent means of communication can be really helpful. Number 4, feedback is crucial. When learners have spent time and energy on activities or reflections or any sort of assignment, they need some kind of acknowledgement that they've accomplished it. And more importantly, they need helpful and thoughtful feedback in order to improve or expand on their ideas. So making sure that there is a clear mechanism in place to be able to provide that feedback is essential. It's important to also choose quality outcome-based learning, the kinds of modules that let learners know exactly what the goals are and what's expected of them and what they can hope to gain from completing that module or activity. And finally, allowing for application of the material or active learning during the face-to-face time. In-person sessions are perfect for this because, as we mentioned before, it allows for immediate course correction and interacting with their peers. So we know that teaching and learning online effectively can be a challenge to begin with. It doesn't take or it doesn't hurt to take some time to really understand how to effectively structure a blended course and provide resources to your students so they can understand how to best learn virtually. State Center Community College District in California is a customer that we worked with, and I'd like to share a little bit of their story here today. So they realized that even though their faculty and adjunct professors were very effective in the classroom, it was not realistic to expect that they would intuitively know how to develop an effective blended or distance learning course. So they worked with us to develop an online teaching certificate program that all of their faculty must go through before they're able to teach an online or blended course. So essentially what they did is they developed the learning outcomes for their certification program and were then able to leverage our online teaching modules as well as our technology courses as a foundation to their program, and then we're able to customize it to meet their specific needs by adding in additional training and resources. And ultimately, they integrated that entire program into their learning management system. And as a result, they found that their instructors are much better prepared to create effective online and blended courses. So I'll show you a bit about what these blended courses look like, or what the online teaching courses look like. So our online teaching collection focuses on the entire online experience, from how to design and construct an effective online course, including discussion best practices for interaction and collaboration, and how to assess student work, all the way to learner support, including accessibility concerns. You can see a sampling of the courses here around course design, interaction, and collaboration. We have much more than this, but I just wanted to give you a feel for what's available. So I'll give you an example of one course. So how many times have you heard that a student may have had a less than perfect experience taking an online course because that instructor wasn't engaging or present? Or maybe you've taught an online course and wished the students were more engaged in the course itself. So we recently released a module that focuses on using the community of inquiry model to help students and instructor presence and engagement in an online course. So when designing and teaching an online course, it's important to include the community of inquiry model in that design in order to ensure that students interact with the instructor, the other students, and the content of the course. And all three aspects of the COI are equally important and influence each other. So we have a module that talks about teaching presence, social presence, and cognitive presence, what those are, and examples of how to infuse community of inquiry into the design of an online course. We also provide modules around accessibility to make sure that the course that you're creating is accessible to all students, as well as student resources to help them become an effective online student, to help them with information literacy, how to write an effective paper. And those resources are kind of ready-made resources for you guys to pull into an LMS or integrate into your course so that you don't have to spend the time teaching them how to evaluate web resources or how to successfully manage their time when they're in an online course. We can do that for you so you can spend your time teaching in your area of expertise and in the course itself. We also offer many other courses to support your needs as well around compliance training. Technology training is really important to a number of our customers as well. And all of our modules are created with subject matter experts and thought leaders to really design and develop research-based modules that promote understanding and achievement. And they are based on or use an outcome-based model and follow the understanding by design framework. So the modules really provide the content necessary for the learner to meet the outcomes, an activity that the learner can use to immediately put what he or she has learned into practice, a place for learners to collaborate and share what they've learned, their successes, their failures, and next steps, and a prove-it assessment that the learner can take to measure progress and prove that they've met the learning outcomes. Hoonuit users can also utilize our new online pathways that really group individual but related modules together to make up a larger concept. So for example, After Effects, Creative Cloud, teaching online, etc. And it really enables you to work through them, or students to work through them at their own pace, to really expand their knowledge on one overarching topic. So in all of these, there are learning outcomes, as well as required modules and elective modules as well, to create added personalization based on the needs of the student. I'm excited to share with you a new toolkit that we are rolling out over the coming months that really helps add that added element of personalization and customization, and that is a course creation toolkit. And what that allows you to do is to really take our leverage our learning library as a foundation, and then take that, so say it's a course in Adobe, or a course on Excel, or even successful time management that you want to use in your course. What you can do is take that course that we've created, and you will be able to tweak and modify it, add your own resources to that particular course, or you can create your own modules from scratch, adding in assessments or even micro-credentials or badges if you want, as well as form those into a bigger grouping of content similar to our learning pathways. So I will show you what that looks like. Oh, I missed one. So, and also wanted to point out that we've done some modifications to our media player recently. And now if you upload your own video to our system, it automatically transcribes it, so puts closed captioning on it, and also allows for any of your videos that you upload to be translated into, there are about 9 different languages. And so this is definitely something that can help to support English language learners be effective in your courses as well. Let me walk you through quickly what this custom or course creation toolkit looks like. You're able to go to manage your campus training, and then you'll be taken to a page similar to this where you can select whether you want to create your own pathway, your own course, or your own assessment. And I want to remind you that any of our courses or the course that you put within our system can be pulled into your learning management system through our LTI tool as well. So I'll show you what it looks like to create a pathway. You can select from your own pathway to modify or a Hoonuit pathway. Once you select that, you're able to modify the introduction, description, and objectives to fit your needs. And then you can add, you can search for modules within our within our library or your own library. Then you can add them to either the required or elective modules. And then all you have to do is save it, and it will be published out on our site as a pathway. And if you do a similar process to create an individual learning module. And within that learning module, that you can actually, like I said, pull it right into your learning management system as well. So before we finish today, I'd like to share a story. One of our customers, John Abbott Colleges, a story from their quantitative methods in social science research course. So with the rising cost of maintaining their software license agreement with a statistical package provider, the methods subcommittee decided to replace their prior solution with a more economical one. And that required them to retrain both their faculty and students in that new software solution. And fortunately, they rose to the challenge. They knew that they did not want to spend valuable class time teaching this new software. So they recently leveraged Hoonuit's Excel and Excel statistical analysis series as a foundation, and then used our course creation tools to add their own training to our Excel training series to make it more relevant to their needs. And the result has been significant, where they were initially spending close to an hour showing students how to set up a table in Excel, and that's an hour of class time. They can now spend more time addressing conceptual difficulties with the material, help students develop good research questions and hypotheses, and make sure that they really understand when to use various statistical tests. And ultimately, these courses have allowed faculty to focus valuable class time on teaching statistics and quantitative methodology and how to put that into practice, rather than on the software training and how to use Excel. So ultimately, our goal is to make it easier for your institutions to provide blended and online courses by leveraging our resources to prepare faculty and staff to teach online, to be able to incorporate our student resources and technology modules into your courses, really allowing you to make the most of your class time. And again, as always, if your institution or faculty are struggling with blended or online learning, remember that we can help, and we have customer success managers here at Hoonuit who are more than happy to work with you and share some other stories of how other institutions that we work with are solving similar challenges.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Emily, so much for sharing all of that exciting news, those exciting new things that are coming down the pipeline here at Hoonuit. So that concludes our webinar for today. If you are currently a Hoonuit customer on the call here, feel free to reach out to your customer success manager to get a personalized demo of what you saw today, our course creation toolkit. Learn more a little bit more on how it can solve for your current initiatives. If you're not a current customer on the call here, but you're interested in learning more, great. We would love to work with you and talk to you a little bit more and connect you with one of our education consultants to learn more about what your district is facing currently and how we may align. So look for a follow-up communication from us on how to schedule a meeting or how to reach out to your customer success manager. So just something to expect if you're interested in a demo, some things to expect when you're in that demo. Our customer success success managers and our education consultants are really good at evaluating your immediate needs and making sure that what we have really aligns with what you're looking for. So we really like to talk through some of your main focus areas and what you're doing currently in order to accomplish those. From there, they'll work with you through any major successes that you've had, as well as any challenges that you have maybe faced in the past. And then we'll tailor our demos to exactly what you're looking for and what your initiatives are. So we want you to view our team members as kind of an extension of your own team. We're really here to help you in any way that you can to make sure that you do get that blended learning environment or any other initiative that you're searching for. So thank you again for your time here today with us. We're really appreciative of the time you've taken, and we really hope that you reach out if you are a current customer and look for a follow-up communication on scheduling a demo. So thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.